especially to you, ma'am. I am the 13th reporter in this subject, and my topic today is all about governance and human rights protection. My topic today has two subjects, which are the governance and human rights protection. As we all know that governance is already tackled about the past reporter, and now let's focus on human rights protection. But by the way, what is governance? So governance, it is refers to the leaders on how they manage a certain community, organization, or country. This involves decision making, creating laws, and to secure this protection of everyone. So let's proceed to the human rights protection. Human rights are rights inherent to all human beings regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or any other status. So when we say human rights, so it is the rights to inherit, whether regardless of your sex. So sex, it is on how the races in your life, if you are belong in first class, middle class, or the third class. And also the sex, whether you are the gay or bi or any sex that are surrounded in our, so you have the right, you have the human rights of everyone. So nationality, of course, if you are a foreign or a Filipino, and ethnicity or what ethnicity or what group you are belong, and of course the language, if you spoke different language, you have the rights. Then religion and other status. So human rights are the basic rights and freedoms that belong to everyone. Every persons have the right to live what they like, or to dress as they want, and to act as they like. So I have here example of human rights, which are the right to live freely and safely. When we say the right to live freely, we choose what we like to live, or we are that everyone has the rights. So second is the right to speak and express opinions. So this is what we call the freedoms of speech. So you have the right to speak what you want, or to express your opinions regardless on any cases or any topics. Then the right to education. Of course, you have the right to education, whether you like it, whether you like to go to school or not. You have the right to choose that. Then, why human rights matter in governance? First, we have here four matter that human rights matter in governance. Balik-balik. Yeah. Ensures justice and ensures justice and fairness. So, good leaders protect the rights of all citizens, not just a few. If you are a good leader, so if you are a good leader, you are the one who protects others, or the all citizens, not just a few, but to all living in your living in a certain company, leading in a certain organization or community that you are managing. Then, it prevents abuse of power. If government respect human rights, they are less likely to commit violence or discrimination. If you are one of the good leaders, you should respect what are the human rights, or so that so that in your certain community has no record of the violence or this discrimination. Violence such as any activities that will harm other people or citizens. Then discrimination. There is no discrimination in your community. Then the third one is build peace and unity. When everyone is treated fairly, people are more likely to live in harmony. So, if you are a good leader, you should build peace and unity. Build peace, that there is no any violence activities, or unity, or there are in your certain community there is a oneness or of all people that are working together or working together to live a peaceful life, to live likely in a harmony. So there is no other harm activity such as harmony. So there is peaceful in living in your community. Then they promote equality. Human rights help protect the poor, the weak, and the marginalized. So promotes equality. So there is no unfair treatment. If you are treated at one person, you should treat the other. So there is no unfair treatment. That example that if you are the rich one, all the protection has been yours. So that is not a equality. So if you are a good leader, you should protect the poor, the weak, and the marginalized people. Marginalized people, which is the poorest of all poorest. Then protect the weak, and of course the marginalized. Then we should continue. Good governance ensures respect and protection of human rights through the following. So first is the the rule of law. As we all know that rule of law is already been tackled in other in other reporter. So rule of law in respect and protection are follow laws and apply fairly. If you are a good leader, you should you are the one who follow the certain law that you are creating and apply to everyone fairly. Then the accountability. Government officials responsible for their action. Of course, if you are a good leader, you should be accountable to your action. You should be responsible for what you're doing, especially in your action. Then the transparency. Decisions and processes are open and clear. Of course, transparent. You can see it. Or transparency, or you can see it what you are doing, or your action is transparent so that these citizens will see it. Then the participation and inclusively. Everyone has the right to violence their opinion. Violence. Everyone has the right to voice their opinions. Of course, everyone, as we all know that everyone has the human rights. So everyone has the freedom to express their opinions or their, what we call this? They have the right to voice out what they truly feels or what's going on in their mind. So there is always been the freedom of speech. Then fifth is the justice and fairness. Access to justice through independent court. Of course, there is always been justice and fairness regarding on what status you have in your life, whether you are the rich or the poor. There is always been the fairness and everything, or in the governance. If you are good leaders, you should be. So there is always been fairness when it comes to justice. Then lastly is the policy making. The policy making that respects rights. Of course, there has always been the policy that respects everyone, not just you as a leader, but to all living in your certain community or country. And that's all my topic today.